headlines. NCDC tightens surveillance amid Ebola outbreak in Uganda. EFCC arraigns ex-NHIS boss over alleged fraud. Electricity tariff hike looms as federal government moves to end subsidy. Car bomb kills 15 agricultural workers in Syria. And on sport, Arsenal humiliate Manchester City 5-1 at Emirates. Hello and welcome to Liberty News. I am Zuleyhat Belagubir. Now the news in full. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has heightened surveillance at the country's entry points following a fresh outbreak of Ebola virus in Uganda. Uganda's Ministry of Health confirmed the outbreak last week, reporting 1 fatality and identifying 44 contacts under monitoring. While Nigeria has not recorded any cases, the NCDC is taking precautionary measures to prevent an outbreak. The NCDC's Director General warned that Nigeria currently has no Ebola vaccines, but emphasized that early detection, isolation and treatment, along with strict infection control measures, are key to reducing fatalities. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Labari, has commended President Bola Tinubu for his commitment to transforming Nigeria's healthcare system. During the discussion with the President, Labari highlighted Tinubu's ongoing efforts to improve access to affordable and efficient healthcare, particularly for vulnerable Nigerians. Liberty News correspondent has more.
The President Bola Tinubu administration is prioritizing Nigeria's health sector through massive investment. According to the Health Minister, Labari, the National Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative emphasized preventive care and developing infrastructure to support it.
In some of the conversations that I've had with our leader, President Tinubu, GCFR, he consistently emphasized how important it is to him that we're able to reach Nigerians who are truly among the most vulnerable and disadvantaged nationwide, so that we reach them with urgent and world-class affordable care. It is a challenge that we are privileged to meet head-on, and as the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare. To this end, one of the major areas of focus for us in the health sector is not just the rapid expansion of health insurance coverage nationally through NHIA, but dealing decisively with encumbrances to access to standard, urgent and ambulatory care in our country.
Party says the sector have been empowered by Tinubu to transform the way medical emergencies are handled from end to end across the nation. Also, the National Emergency Medical Services and Ambulance System is at an advanced stage to prioritize emergency services for rural dwellers through the establishment of Rural Emergency Services and Maternal Transport System in collaboration with the state and local government.
We inaugurated the National Emergency Medical Treatment Committee recently. Nigeria presently accounts for a staggering 1 in every 4 global maternal deaths. Horror statistic, which implies that a pregnant woman in Nigeria faces a 1 in 21 chance of succumbing to pregnancy and child-related complications, contrasted sharply with the global average is 1 in more than 100. Timely, appropriate and effective, efficient emergency medical response can reduce these abysmal statistics, which is an essential element to achieving universal health coverage. But we must appreciate the fact that maternal and child mortality are just 2 painful outcomes of a weak health system. Lack of effective medical response to man-made emergencies, such as motor vehicle accidents, as well as sudden health events, such as heart attacks and stroke, is the present state of our emergency response system. And in many parts of our country, there is very limited emergency response system in place. The architecture is absent.
The minister says the president's support for Nigeria and his concern for the collective well-being of citizens further intensify focus on building an emergency response architecture that will accommodate the need of all Nigerians irrespective of age, religion, education or social status. Elizabeth Masha reporting for Liberty News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, Usman Yusuf, on a 5-count charge before Justice Chinyere Onwechonu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Kuje, Abuja. The EFCC accuses Yusuf of illegally awarding contracts and using his position to confer undue advantages on himself between 2016 and 2017. He pleaded not guilty to the charges. His lawyer, Oi Habib, requested that he be remanded in EFCC custody pending his bail application. However, Justice Chinyere ruled that once a defendant is arraigned, they must be placed in prison custody. Yusuf has been remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center until his bail hearing on February 12. Meanwhile, Barrister Kamaruddin Ogunlana has formally taken over as the Clerk of the National Assembly from Sani Tambuwal, whose tenure has since expired. Ogunlana took over in a ceremony witnessed by some members of the management team. The new clerk, after taking over, eulogized his predecessor, describing him as a courageous leader. Ogunlana, however, promised to democratize decision-making and called on members of the management team to work harmoniously with each other. And now in Kaduna, security forces in Kaduna have successfully rescued 23 kidnapped victims during the joint operation in Kajuru local government area. According to the Kaduna State Police Command, security operatives acted on intelligence and intercepted a gang of bandits attempting to relocate their hostages to a hideout in the forest. A gun battle ensued, forcing the criminals to flee with gunshot wounds, allowing security forces to safely recover all 23 victims. The Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Rabiu Musa, assured residents that security operations have been intensified in the area to prevent further attacks. Moving on, the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, Kailani Mohammed, has urged the federal government and security agencies to provide greater support to volunteer groups like the Civilian Joint Task Force CJTF. Speaking on the role of community-led security initiatives, he emphasized that boosting their morale and resources would enhance their efforts in complementing the police, civil defense, army, and other security forces in combating insurgency. Liberty News correspondent Abdul Yusuf reports.
Professor Kailani Mohammed, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and the Director General of Confederation of all APC support groups, says the federal government and by extension various military and paramilitary organizations must give the necessary assistance to voluntary security agencies like the JTF in the country who have been complementing the efforts of security agencies in fighting all forms of criminality, especially banditry and insurgency.
We are calling on the heads of the securities, from IG to the CDS to the Director General of DSS, that of Civil Defense and other paramilitary, to continue to support the civilian JTF, so that we will reach the promised land where we will sleep our true eyes closed in Nigeria. There is no doubt you people are very gallant. I appreciate all of you because the history is there that when you go into the bush or when you support the security agencies to arrest bandits and kidnappers, you are at the forefront. I think this is a very wonderful actions.
Our security agencies put together, according to Professor Kailani, cannot secure the country because they are not even up to 2 million compared to Nigeria's population, which is in millions.
If you look at the strength of the army in Nigeria today, they are about 290-something thousand. If you compare it to Egypt, they have over 3 million army soldiers. We have only 290-something. The same thing to police. The same thing to DSS. So if you combine all the forces in Nigeria, I don't think they are up to 2 million. And that's where we came in. And they know that we are doing a very good job. So we are calling on the leaders to support us with hardware, on the issue of welfare, on the issue of transportation, so that, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be able to sleep with our 2 eyes closed in Nigeria.
Abdul Yusuf, Liberty News.
In a major crackdown on criminal activity, troops of the Nigerian Army's 6th Brigade and Sector 3 of Operation World Stroke raided a notorious bandit camp in Karim Lamido, Taraba State. During the operation in Angwambala, Kambari village, 1 bandit was killed and 23 others, including 19 men and 4 women, surrounded without resistance. Security forces also recovered a significant cache of weapons, including 4 AK-47 rifles, 5 magazines, 80 rounds of ammunition, a pistol, locally made firearms, 28 cutlasses, 48 daggers, and 60 motorcycles. Investigations reveal that the bandits, originally from Plateau State, had paid 1.5 million naira to a local chief to establish their camp in Taraba. The Nigerian Army has reiterated its commitment to restoring peace in the region and has urged the public to report suspicious activities. In Ondo, on a sad note, at least 30 people have lost their lives in a tragic accident in the Lagos-Ore Expressway near Ore, Ondo State. The Federal Road Safety Corps FRC confirmed that the crash, which occurred over the weekend, involved a head-on collision between 2 vehicles traveling at high speed. The impact led to an explosion, leaving many victims burnt beyond recognition. 2 survivors with severe injuries are receiving treatment at the General Hospital in Ore, while the remains of the deceased have been deposited at the hospital mortuary. The FRC has urged motorists to obey speed limits and avoid reckless driving to prevent similar tragedies. A gruesome murder has shocked residents of Inewi, Anambra State, where 3 siblings aged 5, 7, and 9 were brutally killed in their home. Reports indicate that unknown assailants broke into the house while the children were eating, mothered them, and placed their bodies in a deep freezer. The mother, a lecturer and nurse, had gone out for an examination at the time, while their father was away in Edo State. The Anambra State Police Command has launched an investigation with the Commissioner of Police, CP Nahe Atam, vowing to bring the perpetrators to justice against those responsible. The news is coming to you on Liberty Television. You can also watch our social media platforms at Liberty TV News. Still to come, electricity tariff hike looms as federal government moves to end subsidy. Car bomb kills 15 agricultural workers in Syria. And on sports, we bring to you that Arsenal humiliate Manchester City 5-1 at Emirates. These and others after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. We now continue with the rest of the news. Nigerians could soon face higher electricity bills as the federal government moves to phase out electricity subsidies. Speaking at the Africa Heads of State Energy Summit in Tanzania, the special advisor of the president on energy, Oluvehijen, revealed that the government is working on a gradual tariff increase. He emphasized that while higher tariffs are necessary for attracting private investment, subsidies will still be provided for low-income households. The move comes amid pressure for Nigeria's electricity distribution companies, which argue that current tariffs are unstable. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, warned that if subsidies continue unchecked, the government's expenditure on electricity could rise above 2 trillion naira annually. Meanwhile, billionaire Elon Musk, who is leading U.S. President Donald Trump's cost-cutting panel, has announced plans to shut down the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Speaking on X, Musk stated that USAID, which disbursed 72 billion naira in global aid last year, is beyond repair. Trump has already ordered a freeze on most U.S. foreign aid, sparking global concerns over funding for humanitarian projects. Musk further claimed that Trump administration could cut $1 trillion from the U.S. deficit next year, but he provided no evidence for his estimate. And now a car bomb in northern Syria in a crucial Premier League clash. Martin Odegaard gave Arsenal an early lead, but